What's going on, everybody? So, I'm going to be checking out today a band called Lycania, and the name of the song is My Kingdom Come. Now, I've been following these folks like on social media and whatnot, and this is their first single, their very, very first single from their upcoming debut album releasing October 21st. And I've said it a million times before, it's always fun to kind of check out a band's very first single and when they have a debut album coming out. It's just exciting. I just really enjoy that. So, like I said, I've been following these folks, seeing kind of the progress they've been making and all that good stuff. And here we go. Uh, First single, it's here. It has finally arrived. So, without further ado, let's give this bad boy a listen, shall we? I've been looking forward to this here. Rangers, go. They kind of faked me out at the end there with that little added extra guitar, and I almost wish that wasn't there. It feels like, especially the notes that it kind of ends on, the way that it goes, it has kind of an unfulfilling sort. It almost really leaves you hanging. Like it doesn't have a succinct kind of end there. So personally, I feel like that last little guitar, string, couple, notes hitting, what have you. I kind of wish that wasn't there. I think the song would have ended on a much more well-rounded note without that. When I thought it was over, I think the song would have been better suited to have just ended there than have that last little tail end thing going there. Because just the way it goes, I don't know, it just feels a little awkward. But with that being said, I like this song. I like it a lot. This is right down my alley as far as symphonic metal goes. And first thing I'm going to say right off the rip is these folks have a ton of potential. This is their first single, and they crafted such a wonderful song with so many movements throughout, and the rhythms and the songwriting, everything went together really, really well. The vocals are glorious. The keyboard work is just phenomenal. The guitar work, the drummer. Man, I tip my hat that I'm not wearing right this second, but I tip it to the drummer. I mean, dude was just going to town. Killer drum work on this song here. The bass was great. I mean, everything just worked together really, really well. The orchestral elements, like I said, the keyboard, the little melodies, ba-ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba. It's just, this song, it just has such an epic feel, has such an epic scope about it. The one thing holding it back a smidge, which, again, I totally understand, but the production, it's a little bit muffled. It doesn't sound quite as clear and crisp as I would like. But again, it's not easy, getting into like a high quality recording studio and getting everything, especially when it's your first single. You know what I mean? You work with what you got, and given everything involved in this song, just the scope of it, all of the different, I'm sure, layers and tracks that had to be put down for this, for the orchestral, the keyboard, the guitar, everything. I mean, it's quite admirable that they were able to do it with this quality, even. But yeah, I hope in the future. Well, It is what it is, but it is remarkable what they were able to do here. I just wish that it had a little bit better of a production quality because I think the mixing is good from what I could kind of hear. Everything seems like it was mixed pretty well. It's just the production is just a little bit muffled. But I could hear, everything that was going on for the most part. So, but yeah, that's the only thing really holding it back from just sheer greatness. But again, things like that can most certainly be out of a band's control, especially when it's your very first single and your debut album. So, but yeah, I mean, this song, it just really, really feels like an epic journey throughout. Like I said, I loved all the different elements and the way they work together, especially the keyboard and like the orchestral stuff, really helping to set that grand feeling and really add some nice flavor. I liked all the different sections, when even after that first main section where it kind of dropped off a bit, you hear the bass and it gets a little groovy, and I mean, just everything in here was really, really cool. It feels like a sort of early Nightwish type of deal, and that's always a big plus in my book. And those vocals, what an astonishing voice, lovely, lovely vocals, and it works so well. That's what I mean. Everything works really well. Sometimes when you hear a certain vocal style or whatnot, it doesn't necessarily jive with the music, especially when you're going for an operatic sort of vocal style. You got to make sure that the music kind of suits it and boosts it, that both the vocals and the music work together to enhance one another, as opposed to just kind of having music and then having operatic vocals. It can sound a little disjointed sometimes if it doesn't quite match. But here, that's why I really am impressed with like the songwriting and everything. Is everything really works together to complete one another. Every element in this song all just really works together to make the whole greater. And I mean, like I said, I enjoyed all of the musicianship, all the music, the orchestral stuff. The vocals were wonderful. The melodies were great. I enjoyed the vocal melodies, that chorus. It really gets quite infectious, and it feels grand in scope. I mean, just this is one heck of a song. I mean, this is one heck of a symphonic metal song. And like I said, I am super duper impressed, for a band to release something of this quality as their very first single. I feel like that really doesn't happen too often. It tends to be a little rough around the edges, or it doesn't seem like they quite know exactly what they're wanting to do or trying to do. But here, they clearly have a vision. They know how to accomplish that vision and craft something that is just epic symphonic metal. Simple as that. Production could be a little bit better, but song wise, I mean, I really, really enjoyed this. So I'm quite impressed, to be 100% honest with you folks. I'm really looking forward to their debut album. We'll see how everything transpires throughout the course of the whole album. But as far as the first single goes, I loved it. I mean, I really, really loved it. So it is right down my alley. So let me know, folks. I'd be really, really curious to know what you all think about this song here. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. After hearing this, are you looking forward to the debut album? And again, just what do you think of this song? Let's talk about it. And I'll catch you all next time. Ranger out.